Mm, it's been one of those days where um my mood was I was on my feelings walk. I was I experienced a lot of moods today. I was ready to go, so I was excited. I um, and I didn't do, I did some on Sleeping Squad. Like I didn't go to bed until. Hello, hello everyone. Dennis, Fanua, are you already a fan? And Sarah, okay, Dennis, still here. For I was just doing a check-in of my day. I have a feelings wall, and I was like, I woke up ready to go. um, um, I didn't get to sleep until about 3 yesterday on Sleeping Squad. I was on Sleeping Squad until I was kind of on Demonic's Demonic Death Wish 420. I was watching him play guitar. Way ready for bed, and then I viewed a video on YouTube that just it made me angry. It made me stomp my feet. And so I did a reaction video. Basically my Sleeping Squad video was a reaction video. And then I logged off, and so I didn't sleep on Sleeping Squad last night. I overslept. My 5:30 alarm that I set to say hi to a veteran a military veteran in the Netherlands before he goes to work. I kind of overslept my 5:30 alarm, and hey Frank, I was just doing a check-in of my day. And so since I overslept on my 5:30 alarm, I was due at my friend's house at 9, and so it kind of put me an hour behind. So I didn't like get up and get out of the house until about 9:30, and house about 10:15. And we needed to get her to her doctor so she could get her meds. And that was pretty much the aim today. So we got her there, and then she was able to get an appointment at 1:45. She saw her counselor at 11, and then we were able to make a support meeting at noon, appointment. And while I was at the support group meeting, I was able to network with someone for MVPN, Military Veterans Peer Network. Established some dialogue. He has some insights about the program that I didn't know about. And so got his contact information, and hopefully we can talk more about that. But the getting her prescriptions was a little bit harder in the afternoon after she saw her doctor. There was some back and forth, but by that time I had a meeting with my peer coach, recovery coach, at 4:30, and so I needed to drop her off, come home, take a quick shower or a quick bath really, because I was just hot and sticky. And so came home, took a quick bath, made it to my appointment, and then after that I went to a veteran support group. After 7, I wasn't ready to go home, but I didn't have anything to do. And when you have nothing to do, what better time than to go to Walmart? So I went to Walmart and got me my my light bulbs, and my ceiling fan in my room have been out for about a week. So I went and finally bought some light bulbs. And this is, granted, I'm single, so I'm always on the lookout. So I saw a cashier, we exchanged smiles and everything. And I was like, I got out to the truck, and I was like, you know what? You'll never know. If you don't go back in there and ask if he's single, you'll never know. But it took me about like an hour sitting out in the parking lot to get the nerve to go back in. And I had like a little sheet of paper. I have these little note cards that is on a key ring, so I took one of those note cards off, and it put my name and my number and also my kick, and so it took me an hour to, by that time I was like, I was in the parking lot, talking to people. So I got back in, and I finally got the nerve, to talk to him, but he got off. So I was like, and I thought he might have just went on break. So I stayed out in the parking lot for another hour talking to people and everything, and then went back in, and I was like, okay, he's pretty much off for the evening. So, but in the process, I met a friend of mine I hadn't seen it's been about like 18 months or so. I mean, we had like a short chat. While I was dating, she saw me on a date. So she asked me if I was still dating that guy, and I said no, we broke up. And so we got to talking, And we had talking about, we just started talking about being single, you know, and uh, and what her plans were, and what she's doing with the and stuff like that. She's tapped back into a um, an in outpatient support group. Um, she said she's needed to get her mind right and stuff like that. And so we had a good talk for about 30 minutes or so. So I didn't get a chance to give that guy my number because something about being single, it's like you're always on the lookout, right? But in the process of me trying to make a connection that way, I made a connection for um, I made a connection you know, for pure recovery, my mental health recovery. So the gist of it is that even though like it might be the venue of like meeting people, you know, to date, but at the same time, I'm meeting people to make connections, for my network. So, and and this goes back to I got a webinar about it was like a year after my husband passed away. Matthew Hussey out of the UK wrote a book called Get the Guy, Get the Guy. And then he came up with, you can look up Matthew Hussey on YouTube. He's got some excellent videos. But how to talk to a guy, is basically the way that I got. And but I remember in that one of the first videos, it was talking about like being that person that you want to date. Becoming that person. And through the rest of about like years now. It'll be 2 years in October. I have pretty much like I say on my my YouTube channel, I am a widow transformed. And becoming that person that I want to date. And for me, since I'm an activist, I love volunteer work, and I love being out in my community, and I love being in peer support. It's changed my job track. Started off wanting to be a licensed chemical dependency counselor, but now I'm leaning towards being a veterans certified peer specialist. So I'm really into outreach. I like field work. I'm not one to be behind the desk, and I like things like putting my story out there, putting my experience with, system navigation, um, um, how to tap into resources in your community, what support groups are out there, and not just, and finding those hidden gems and finding new programs that are blossoming every day and, keeping abreast on that, especially in my community. So, and just like, today was a typical day of navigating the system, you know, and, helping a peer do that. And then, me doing a check-in with my peer recovery coach about what my job track is, making that decision to switch over from counseling into peer support, and then doing, and ironically, self-care for me is, being mindful that I am single, and I want to date, and and at the same time that I'm doing, all the things that I do towards my job track, um, mindful that I'm still, I'm like I'm 47, but I'm not, I'm not sitting at home waiting for that guy to appear, magically appear. I'm proactive, and I'm creative about it. And, and I go out, to meet people in the, in various ways, instead of doing the typical, doing the typical, like using your friends to get you a date. I've never been one to, I've been kind of against, your friends setting you up with someone, because it's kind of like inbreeding. It's like, because it's like, because not, because you have to rely on your friends' opinion about you, and what do they think? Who do they think would click with you? And I'm granted, I'm all about referral, but when it comes to dating, it's like I I have this side that is different when I'm dating someone than when I'm like at work, or I'm doing my networking and stuff like that. Because once again, I'm very playful and frivolous, and the I want to matched up with someone that's playful and frivolous. Um, and my friends might not see that side of me. So, hello, Bureau. I've just been doing a recap of my day. Hey, this is, welcome to the Decompression Chamber. I'm Louisa, peer support and mental health. I'm doing good, Burrell. I'm doing really good. How are you? Um, the Anyway, so it's just a matter that, like was saying, about my friend, they might not um, get that. They might overlook that guy that I might really, get along with because they have this mindset of me. Oh, you popped right back in. You're right. Was thinking, you pop back in, you pop back out. Mm, Um, um, but like, I like to do my own, um, I think a lot is that initial for me with someone is that spark. Like, eye contact is so big with me, and a smile is so big with me. Like, if are you back, Mira? Can you hear me? But initial contact with someone, um, that it's like when you can read somebody's eyes, like, and when you look at someone and there's a spark, that's what I like, just like that spark. And there's the times that shows attraction, like that person, sees you as somebody they're attracted to, not somebody they want to be friends with. Because believe me, have so many, have been in the friend zone so many times that it's so important to have that attraction. Hey, WFE, back again. But so I'm always looking for that attraction, so that I know when I'm with that person, there's something there rather than they just want to hang out with me, because for some reason when people just hang out with me, they that it's like they forget that I'm single, and they forget that I'm looking to date people. It's like, oh my gosh, it's like, and then they want to, like, you know you know take up my time, but it's like, dude, it's like I'm trying to date, so I'm like out with you and everything, but if I'm hanging out with you, that means I'm not out there looking, you know. And then a lot of people's like, well, you got to be friends first. It's like, no, because I've gone that route too many times where it's like, oh, well, you got to be friends first. And then 2 years down the road, a friendship, and it's not converting over into a relationship. So I'm really wary about guys that come approach me and say, let's be friends. I'm like, No, let's not. Let's not be friends. I mean, it's like, you know, it's either you're me or and talk about me, or you know, you know, not occupying my time with friendship. And I think that's why the friend that I have now that is like my best friend is a female, and to keep me from, because I've done this so many years in my life, to keep me out of building these friendships with men that take up my time, and then I don't have time to date, you know, with this illusion that with this illusion that it's going to turn into something, where you're spending time with the guy under this illusion that it's going to turn into something, when all their intent is hang out with you because they think you're a neat person. But, they have their hang-ups about dating you. So it's like going into it with the intent to date, not like setting, not starting something without of dating. Because I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's the culture that it is now, because like a lot of people like hang out in groups and they do things together and they like to hang out, but dating is between, like two people. And what is the action? What is, and for me, since I'm not, I'm past my childbearing age. Yeah, right, Burrell. It is the culture. So I'm past my childbearing age. So I'm not looking to, when I go out dating, I'm not looking for, to set up a home, set up a family. I've done that. You know, what I'm looking for in dating now is, um, I want to be able to continue a lot of my volunteer work, and know that, like, for me, I work on the weekends, um, and then I volunteer. So what I kind of need in my dating is that flexibility of, hey, I can chime in during the day, and it's like, I just did this, I got this contact, or I got this project started, or, my goals are, bouncing that partner, for encouragement and stuff like that. And then, you know, so a lot of my dating objectives is support, you know, that, hey, you're doing it. You're reaching your goals. And then that that ex- it arouses me. And then, so then when I do get a chance to finally see that person, my self-esteem is, um, it's at its peak, and, because I've accomplished something, and then, so I feel sexy, you know, I feel sexy when my objective, because I'm a very goal-oriented person. So, And and in a way, I really think guys are like that too. I think a lot of guys that are climbing up the corporate ladder feel sexy when they achieve something, you know. Um, and when they're at their zenith is when they feel sexy. And 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 what's really sexy about a woman is when a woman can support, who they're dating. Like, way to go on that. Like, way to go on that meeting, or way to go on completing the goals for that project. And then, during the times that things don't go well, you know, they can be supportive. It's like, well, what have you not tried? Or what would success look like for you? You know, um, since you can't achieve this goal, what would be success? What's the plan B? You know, um, but that's pretty much my idea of dating today. For me, being 47, is having more like camaraderie, but not in the guise of friendship. You know, because I want that guy to be addicted to me when they're supporting me. That, that they think I'm sexy when I'm achieving my goals. Not being a friend that says, way to go. No, I want a guy that looks at me and says, you know what? You look so hot getting what you want. That's what I want. Like, you are really when you're like negotiating that deal. So, but, well, Burrell, thanks for sticking around. Like I said, I was just doing my check-in. Um, but you are more than welcome to guest if you like. Would you like to guest? Would you like to guest, Bureau? I hope I'm selling. It says Burrell, but it's like, is Cameron your first name? Because I see Burrell is probably your last name. I'm calling you by your last name instead of Cameron. Let's see. Let's do a little research on you, Cameron. You you're a 2. You've got about 50 fans, and you have not completed your. Is there a reason why you haven't made your profile? Are you working on it, or do you want to remain anonymous, or what's the deal, Cameron? You must. If I know how this YouNow thing is going, so you're watching me, but at the same time you must be in a broadcast, so you can't guest. Because I experimented with that the other day when I was in demonic death wishes broadcast, but I was also um, live. Like I was watching his broadcast on my other laptop, and then like I have a laptop that I do my broadcasts on, and then I have a laptop where I watch other broadcasts. So the way, yeah, of course I'm making an exception. It's just so the reason why I don't see you in my audience is probably because you're in a live broadcast. Am I right? Hmm. Well, on that note, um, Cameron will probably come out, hopefully. Um, but that's what was going through my mind sitting in the parking lot of Walmart. Hmm. I you know, Angry Bird, but it like this is the thing. It's like so I'm sitting in the parking lot at Walmart, and so I'm attracted to a cashier. While I'm sitting in the parking lot, you know, a lot of my unit, my I don't want to call them friends because they're they're not my friends. They're men that I talk to. I don't date them because they like that little notification. It's like they're chiming in. What are you doing? And the typical, you know, what are you doing? Because whatever, you know, because, they're ready and they're ready for fun. So, and, and for me, it's like, um, that's cool. I don't mind doing that. But at the same time, I need to do some decompression. I need to be able to get some thoughts out of, thoughts out of my head, process the day and everything before I can, I don't do that to decompress. I have to get up to a plane. I have to have some kind of decompression before I'm ready to be, ready to play. And And what I would like, is to have someone that I can decompress with and then transition into play. And I haven't found that yet. That is what I'm looking for. I think that's what I'm looking for. I have a couple guys that are close. And then they're like, so I don't have a routine with them yet. There's one, there's one that's close, but and then I started doing things like I had a change in my routine, and then something's going on with him too. So, our first week was great, and we're going into our second week. So, schedules mapped out, and then there's like a 7-hour difference. So when he's ready to decompress, I'm like in the middle. I'm in the middle of my action. So I kind of have to take a break in my action to be with him. He's ready to decompress. And I know that's precarious for me because that means I have to ramp down and then ramp back up. And it's okay if I do stuff in the morning, then I have my afternoons as a cool down, and then I do things in the evening. And that first week, when I did meet him, I was like in a vacation mode. I kind of met him on vacation. Well, I was like on vacation from my friend. My friend was on vacation, so the activities that I did with her, I was on vacation. And she came back from town, from out of town. And so this week, I realized we do a lot of stuff in the afternoon. This past week, I've been cooling down in the afternoon in order to spend time with this guy. And I kind of have to plan to be at home around 2, and now that she's back in town, now I have activity with her in the afternoon. Is it a cock block? We had a talk the other night, Me and my friend had a talk the other night. And she gave me the realize that your friends are important. And this is my MO. My MO is like I meet a guy and I change my routine to hello Savannah, welcome to YouNow. I got the blur. My my routine and my MO is I meet a guy, I like him, and I like to get involved in what he does. A lot of it for me is like the excitement of something new. I get to meet this guy and get to know what he's like, what he likes. And so then I kind of pour myself into his routine. But in the process, I lose me. And then I have this tendency of disconnecting with my friends because I really like this guy. Then the enmeshment starts. You know, I don't have my friends. I start seeing this guy more, and then I start seeing him like on a day-to-day basis, and then the suffocation starts. And the first complaint, I haven't seen my friends. The guy will say, I haven't seen friends, I haven't been able to hang out, and yada, yada, yada. And what I've done is sacrifice seeing my friends. But usually, what'll happen is there will be like a discussion about, or just that that little tease, like, I don't think your friend likes me. And I'm like, well, he probably doesn't. And it's like, some of my friends don't really like me, but we hang out, It's like, you don't have to be my friend, with people that, have opposing views, Um, so, I'm not that kind of friend that's like, oh, you're the shit, or no, I like to hang out with friends that, I know that this person is, opposite of me. I like the contrast, because because by seeing that contrast, I get to look at me and it's like I start liking, who I am, because I get to see, what is opposite of me. Um and so so that the guy that I'm dating is like, I don't think your friend likes me. I'm like, yeah, and my response is, yeah, probably not. And he goes, well, why are you with that? Why you hang out with that guy, or why you hang out with that person? And it's like, because then I have to be on the defensive, and it's like, well, I'm not asking you why you hang out with so and so, because it's none of my fucking business why you have the friend, because those are your friends. Just like I have my friends. And then I get into this, well, okay, um, well, why don't we like do a thing with, my friends, so that you meet them and they get to know you, blah, blah. And then there's the awkwardness of like hanging out with people that you really don't like. Like I don't mind doing it, but it's like, you know, they don't serve a purpose for me. But I'm just like hanging out because I'm your girlfriend and I'm meeting your friends, you know, just as a, this is my girlfriend kind of thing. And after that initial meeting, I don't have the desire to hang out with your friends again. It's like, this is Louisa, blah blah blah. I'm dating Louisa, blah blah blah. And, you know, that's it. And then later down the road, there'll be like some conversation about, well, you know, why don't you change something about me? And I'm, oh, really? Oh, so it's not good enough anymore. So now we want to change something about me. Now, what attracted you about me in the first place, now you want to change that. Now, why would you want to change something that attracted you in the first place? You know? So then there's the discussion. Of course, there's resistance on my part because I'm like, why do I need a change when I haven't asked you to change you? And then, so even though I have resistance, I do it anyway. Then I become uncomfortable, and then I don't feel like myself, and then that comes out in the passive aggressive anger. I get a little snitty. I don't get nitpicky. I just start looking at you and saying, huh, you get to be you, but I'm starting to be censored. And then when I feel this censorship, I it's not resentment, it's just a questioning. Why am I here? Why I'm in this relationship? Am I happy? And then when I start asking questions, then I start getting answers. And then I realize I have the options I have are to stay or to go. So I think it's best, I think it's best for me to just let you have your friends and let me have my friends and not try to, try to do some kind of enmeshment. Like, let me have my little loop, your little loop, and I'd rather not know what you do with your friends. But it's kind of hard because I show so much interest in you. I want to know what makes you happy, but at the same time, best for me just to know that you do those things to be happy. And now my marriage, my second marriage, like perfect example, my second marriage, I dated a biker, and we ended up we we ended up after 4 years. But I was not a biker chick, you know. That there might have been a period where I wore a vest and I got on the back of the bike and rode with them and everything. But I never made that transition into being a biker chick. Um, so yeah, I'm gonna go riding. Like, go ride, you know. But he wasn't a biker that had to have his chick on the back of a bike. He didn't have to have his bitch on the bike with him. You know, he enjoyed just riding by himself, and he, um, um, and when on his bike, that was his time to be alone. So we had some distance there, but in every other aspect of our lives. Now, what was different was I was a flea market vendor when he met me, and he was fascinated by that, and he wanted to do that. So we got we got into buying and selling and stuff like that, and collectibles and everything. And since he had the interest in me to do that, to those stuff with me, it was okay because he wanted to do it. But with me, it was like, um, I didn't have to be a biker, but that was okay with him. So, um, it worked out. Um, but the formula that hasn't worked out for me is for me to show in you and what you do, and you not reciprocate for me. Like, what's sexy for me is when you're interested in what I'm doing. That's what's sexy for me. And a lot of the a lot of what hasn't worked for me in relationships is not someone not having that interest in me. So how do I get by with that? I have a recovery team. I have a peer, and I've had to, I have a best friend. Um, and what I've had to learn is these are people in my life that show interest in the things that I do, but I don't have, it doesn't trigger that sexual impulse. So I've had to learn that interest in me doesn't equal sexual attraction. And interest in, what I do doesn't equal sexual attraction. So where does that put me? It puts me in this it puts me in this well, I think you're hot. And I'm like, okay. It makes it kind of like physical. And then well, I think you're hot because you're a black chick. And I like black chicks. And I'm like, okay. It's like, oh, okay. So black chicks turn you on. Yes, chicks turn me on. And then it's like, then I have to see, well, what is it about a black chick that turns you on? And that whole dynamic is, guys have various reasons why they're into black chicks. Sometimes they don't even make sense to me, but that's what they're turned on by. So I'm walking around and I'm this black chick, and for me, what is it about white guys? For me, it's all about eyes. I love the range of colors, the range of features and eyes. I love hair. I like the various ways of their hair, from short to long. That's, I'm attracted to hair. I'm attracted to facial hair. I like beards, and I'm attracted to facial hair. And when it comes to body type, I run the gamut. I like them skinny. I like them, I like them full bodied. I'm not much of a muscle person. Um, e- um, But I like arms. I love tattoos. Um, uh, I like, I love voice. Man, this last guy that I was with, I was into his voice, you know? And that's what's hard about the breakup now. It's like I was listening to his voice on a daily basis. Um, um, I'm into, I like a guy that uses clothing to make a statement about who he is. So I like that presence of a uniform, you know. So like that's why I like, bikers, bikers leathering up. I like that. Um, um, a guy that wears a cap and has a whole cap collection. I like that. Um, uh, I like um, I like um, that that if they're that type of guy, if they like to dress up, they dress up. I like that guy that can wear a t-shirt and jeans and make it look good, you know? I like a guy that if shoe, you know, you know, like, that's their thing. So in essence, I like a guy that if it's, they can express themselves in clothing in the way they dress. But that's that guy. Um, I like guys that stand for something. Whatever it is, just they have a stand. Even if I don't agree. If they if they'll die for that stand, I like that. I don't I don't like a I don't like a wishy-washy. I like to know at the end of the day that's that guy's position. That's the stance he's going to take because it provides some kind of stability for me. Um, I like that are I was watching I was watching a guy. I've been watching this guy for years and he never seems to amaze me. And he never ceases to amaze me. His level of involvement. Um Very attractive guy. But over the years I my my approachability to him, like, there was, there was a time when um, I couldn't even walk up to him. Then there was a time where I got a little bit more courage, and it caught me off guard one day, and I was playful. Then today it was like I am as a colleague, and like, even though I found him very attractive, it didn't like generate. I mean, it was there, that of course I talked to him, but at the same time it didn't like cloud the way that I was comfortable. I was comfortable being in front of him. And I I was at ease because me. I had confidence in what I was doing. And and I kind of know, like, what over the years, I kind of knew what his position was going to be, and but I knew what my position was, and I didn't have my position because he stated his. Like, I didn't have to like side with him because I had merit. I had merit in my belief, so I could stand as an equal. And so there wasn't a power issue. Like, I didn't lose my power. And I walked away from that today like, oh, that's what that feels like. Like, I didn't have to give up power. And that's been a lot of work. That's been a lot of work for me this past year. Not giving up power. Um, and so I went into the day feeling I want more of that. I want more of that interaction without giving up power. But like I said, that's pretty much been my check-in. It was a pretty lengthy check-in. But as I do, it's a part of the Viscit method, is this is being recorded. First of all, goes to my YouTube channel live, and then when I end the broadcast, it provides me playback, and then that's when I go into the Viscit method and look at my reactions look at my facial expression, try to see the nonverbal, an idea of my nonverbal, and see what I'm communicating. If I understand the message that I'm trying to present, and get a better idea what I need to tweak in my delivery to be more true. But so when I do the playback, I'll be able to add this. I'm trying to look and see. Let me find. I thought I had the book. I don't know if I brought it in or not. Yeah, I did. Because I've been doing some broadcasts and everything, but I haven't done, I've been in the process of doing a survey tape and everything. But, there's questions like, one video, describe yourself and what kind of person are you? What do other people think of you? And the next question, are they being fair? And okay, this video, I'll entitle "What Makes You Happy." So I answered and I didn't even know I was answering the question. So one more time. The philosophy of, what is it called? The philosophy of the implicit, focusing, where your body taps in and your body knows more than what your brain knows. And one more time, my body tapped in and was able to get to the core of my next of answering, and then I didn't even know I was answering. So that's pretty cool. I love that. I love focusing. But that's the philosophy of the implicit. So this tape is what makes you happy. Okay, I am signing off, doing the review, and hopefully I can slide. And